Hello. What's going on? Episode 86. That's wild. Should be sick of me by now. Okay. What's going on, Ground Pounder? Zachary? Dan K here, cool. So, this is your weekly violations with the sheriff. We basically kind of hold the law down when it comes to YouTube and the ridiculous, stupid stuff that happens and gets uploaded. What's up? Little impacts here? Cool. Right on. Okay, so on this episode today, we got a few things, but we have to do a live investigation. It kind of is what has to happen. It's not like I had planned on doing this, but let's just start the week out and start with our PSA like we usually do. So this first violation is probably the most serious one I've ever done. And this goes to the TCIA, the entire tree care industry as a whole. The people who pull the strings and make all the decisions at the top. The suits, the stuff, those guys that you really in person probably would never ever relate to. So this is a felony ticket. Shit's too expensive, okay? It costs too much money. This is dumb. This is absolutely dumb. Everything shouldn't cost so much damn money. This is just it's wild. It's just insane that, the job's insanely dangerous, and if you want to have quality tools and equipment, you are going to pay a pretty penny. And there's just no, if you want the ANSI compliant stuff, you're paying. It's like, I almost feel like everyone's holding arms in this big long line of just dickheads that are dictating everything. And it's the first ticket goes to them. So it's completely out of control. I mean, and you guys can probably attest to all this. When you can't afford to renew or upgrade the equipment because the cost is so much. That should never be the case. It should that's like, I don't know. I just think it's gotten out of control. Like my guy Dan said, it's out of control. So, yeah, they're probably not saying, they're probably sitting, if I had to guess, and I'm trying to picture it, they're probably dick to ass. It would be the way they would line up. Or ass to mouth. I don't know. I'm not a fan. Whoever is deciding this, fix it. Fix it. I don't like it. Well, what's up? How we doing in Mississippi, Frank? So yeah, it's getting worse too. It's like, I don't know. It's just like a bunch of woke nerds in suits that probably haven't worked a day in their life, and if they did, it was so long ago that they don't even remember it. And I don't know. I don't know. Not a fan. Fix it. What up, Tim? Yeah, yeah, yeah. This is definitely the right place. For sure. Yeah. So TCIA, the whole association, everyone, whoever the hell it is, maybe if they can tell me who to give it the specific ticket to, but I don't know who. So the whole thing in general, shit's out of control. Fix it. It shouldn't cost, like, you shouldn't have to take a second mortgage out on your home just to afford some equipment. But yeah, that is what it is. Also, last week I was absolutely like over the moon when it come to the clip that I shared. It did no views, which is hilarious. But Buck and Billy Ray may have gave the best advice I've ever heard anyone give on YouTube. And I made a clip of it, so dude, okay, I'm down. I'm down. I'll go with you, Tim. We can walk hand in hand. We'll hold hands and walk through there. It'll, I don't know. Yeah, I don't, actually, let's not do that. That's weird. Yeah, Buckin, the old Buckin came back for a little bit. The caring dude that, like, is actually really, he's always nice and kind and friendly, but, like, I hate this word, but it's when you do social media and you let the attention get to your head, you become like you have main character syndrome. You become a bit narcissistic to where you think that your opinion, uh, is so far and above another person's, and it's aggravating when you see someone that's like that. But it's even worse when you've seen someone not be like that, and then they become that after a while. So if you've, you know, probably followed someone, they've changed along the way, and you're just like, dang, that sucks. It's always wild to me to see someone have success and then it changed them completely. But like I was saying, I just was stoked to see the guy that I became a fan of come back, and it was awesome. Yeah, so check that short out. Next would be there. Okay, there's too many corny ass like cheese dick videos being made. I don't like any of them. Like they all look like TikTok trends. And why does YouTube keep recommending these things to me? I'm a straight man. This is weird. Why? I don't know. It's like I just don't. If I wanted to be friends with like college girls and watch them do TikTok dances or integrate it into their work life to where they do the trend at work, I would do that. I don't want to do that. So don't get caught doing this. Alright? We're all friends right now. Don't let me see you doing this. I don't like this, and this has got to go. You doesn't need no more. Okay? Also, there's too many dorks in tree climbing. And that's where it's okay to do the cheesy TikTok dances and stuff like people over. There's too many. No one should like this. But there are tree guys that enjoy this stuff, I think. But like, I remember when tree guys were cool. Like, even some of the guys that were cool have became uncool. I've watched it. But it can go back. It can go back. It doesn't need to stay like this. We can stop it now. I'm stopping it now. But you guys can help. Like, just Lim Reaper. One word. Lame. if you hit those guys with those comments enough times, hopefully they have a bit of shame to them and embarrassment, and they stop. But yeah, that's just my opinion on the weird, feminine, TikTok-y shorts and stuff. I don't like it. Okay. Okay, I was trying to decide, do I do this or not? But I have to do this. So, we actually have a new officer. So, let me do this. Man, you would think I would have some of this shit. This is ridiculous. Look at all these violations. People need to do better. I shouldn't have this many to go through to find what I'm looking for. Okay, so I need to shout these people out because they are part of the memberships and basically keep the channel going. So, In the Trees, William Moxie, Low Impact Forestry, Ground Pounder, J306, Super Shay, 5 Chris 5, Chris Beckett, James R, Buck Yeah Sauls, Buckwheat, and we have a new officer. We're actually, okay, so we're still trying to, he's got a few more statements, like, or contracts to sign before we can officially, like, put him on to the roster publicly. But, like, this one, actually, I thought I was being trolled. So, yeah, yeah, I legit thought I was being trolled for over, I don't know, it may have took me 4 days or so before I actually commented back. So, yeah. I don't know. I don't want to, yeah, yeah. And if you could pass the qualifications, Tim, and the the test run, it's just, dude, you tie in like a douche at times, and you have a rainbow chainsaw. Like, there's things going against you from the start, but it's alright. I think one day you get a little more experience, you could maybe make it on the crew. But like I said, the new officer is actually down there. He's supposed to get me the secret to YouTube. This is gonna be sweet. I'm gonna blow up and I'm gonna forget all you guys. I'm gonna have the biggest ego. I'm only gonna respond to people that give me money. This is also what's gonna happen. I know some of you guys, and we're cool. But when I get this secret, and I figure this, like, I get this, I win. Basically, I win. I'm just being straight. Like, I've always been honest with you guys. I feel like I should keep being. I'm going to forget every single one of you. Unless maybe you could ship me stuff. And then maybe I would be like, yeah, I remember the good old times when I wasn't a millionaire. And I'm probably going to keep the badge. No matter what, because I like being the boss. But yeah, I can't wait to get the secret. When I get the secret, this is all over. Okay, so I'm gonna get all the money. All of them. You ain't that guy. You are not that guy. Dude, you're Scrappy Doo, okay? Like, if I'm Scooby-Doo, you would be Scrappy Doo, okay? The sister duo. How you doing? So, Okay, I had someone come in and write a statement. Actually, I have to tell you who the new officer is, because we're gonna talk about him anyway. So the newest member is guilty of treason. So if I'm just being honest, I got a random DM, and like, I wish I could let you guys see my, like, just screenshot my DMs, and you could see some of the stuff. Like, people have sent me some some DMs that are downright embarrassing at times. I mean, if you're masculine at all. I mean, if you're not, but like, my text messages with some people are they're pure comedy. Like, I wish I could just screenshot everything and just let you guys see some of this stuff. But just know that I can be bought. So I'm just being honest. What didn't happen for 500? Brandon, why would I lie? Why would I lie? Dude, I would never lie. That's hilarious, though, because there's not a whole lot I can do to prove it. But I'm just telling you, this is facts. That's the truth. And so, now that you know who it is, I had someone come in and write a statement. I'm not famous yet, okay? Yet. Keyword yet. Like, it's getting ready to happen, I think. I think it's getting ready. But don't worry, as soon as it happens, I promise, I give you my word, I will do something to screw it up and get canceled instantly. I promise. It's just facts. I have them. You should see them. They're wild. I'm telling you. I can't complain, Brendan. I fact-checked it. It's actually true. I could be lying. I mean, Buckin could be a member. Blair, Glenn, August. This is, you never know. You never know. I could just be a liar. But okay, I had somebody come in and they have filed a complaint. And like I said, I'm not famous yet, so I still read all the comments. Coffee. Sister do it. Coffee. Even though I have whiskey in the background, I don't drink at all. So, like, I was given this by a customer, and you guys, who are you close? You can have it. Yeah, I'm just drinking coffee. I'm on the clock. I can't be drinking anyway. That's crazy. Bucking. Why do I comment? Dude. Yeah. I mean, think about it. He's not. If you're not, I don't know. I'm not saying nothing right now. Bucking. I'm like, last week when I was watching his video and he said, "Don't listen to me. Go have your own experience." Use these influencers. They're okay. It's called an influencer, okay? So they're not called dictators. They shouldn't dictate everything that you do in your life. They should possibly influence things that you do in your life. They shouldn't absolutely dictate everything that you do. And I feel like sometimes these people get their following, they only see the positive. It's just always, they're the best, you're so smart. And they just go a little too far one direction. And yeah, it happens though. It happens. So my next guest drinks coffee or smokes. I maybe Isaac. Okay, I need to get through this. Jesus. Okay. So I'm reading my comments and I get to one and it says, first of all, I need to let Isaac, Jacob, and Randy, and I think we're going to throw in Big Flav, okay? Tree Climber Harry? Oh, sick. That'll be a good one. So, ask him about his Ninja Warrior stuff. I want to know about that stuff, Tim. So, shoot. What was I saying? Okay. So Jacob, Isaac, Randy, and Big Flav. Okay, the statement reads from okay, this is from one at JiffyPop247. He says, will you please handle the Guilty of Treason crew and make them stop putting their half hitch so close, his exact words were so close to the butt. I thought that sounded zesty, and I don't think that's really what he actually meant, but too close to the cut would be better. So when you're negative rigging, you got the piece, and say my hand part right here, that's the piece that's coming off. So you put your half hitch real close to your notch, and then you anchor maybe up above it or whatever it is you do. So he says, will you tell them to stop putting their half hitches so close to the cut? He says Jacob even says that he does that to reduce the fall, the length of the fall. And this is something that has been discussed forever. I've always had people arguing this one, and I don't think there's videos really of it out there, and we need to figure this out. Does it matter where you put your half hitch at? Will it change how far the piece falls? So if you have this piece of wood and it's on top of the ball here, okay, this piece of wood, now if you put the half hitch here, is it gonna shorten the fall than if you put the connection point up here? Does that matter? Because if it doesn't matter, there's no need to be putting it so close to the cut. That way it could slip off. So we're gonna test, and I have it set up already. Does it matter where you put your half hitch? Does it change the fall, the distance that it falls? Let's do this. I have it set up. And then we're going to come back and do nothing but violations. Alright. This probably isn't going to be the most graceful thing in the world, though. Work with me. So, we can't fully give them the violation yet, because we need to go check. Let's see what happens here. Okay. Get your reflex bag out of the way. Okay. So what do we have here? Gonna get this. Oh, it's lit a lot better than I thought it was gonna be. Wow. Okay. And Plus, I'm going to try to stay up with the comments as best as I can. Vanilla Hunter, just been busy. What's up? Not bad, hanging in there. Things, skin. I'm gonna quit climbing. Too old now. Need a young one like Isaac. Dude, that was the most sus. Yeah. Okay. Now here's what I have. Check this out. So you see this piece of wood? We have notches put into it here. So when this piece is up here, ignore everything else. When it's up here and it falls off, does it matter where it's connected at? Is it going to fall less if you put the half hitch closer to the cut? So if I move that half hitch all the way down to the very bottom, does that make a difference in how far the piece falls? And this is something I feel like has been argued until like guys are blue in the face. Does this matter? Is it better to keep it close and then it falls less? Does it matter if it's close? Let's find out. So we'll start from the first notch. This is probably one of the very few live investigations I'm going to do. I got a setup here. This is kind of like the safe block, but if the safe block was from the dollar store, okay? So we got to weave through there for some friction. It's got our rope set at a length, and I'll kind of grab a hold of it to make sure that it doesn't slide out any. So we're always keeping an eye on how much rope. Okay, so there it is. We got it at the very bottom one. I have that wood down there so it doesn't break my wife's Christmas tree holder. So with it at the very bottom, at the cut, it ends up about 4 inches from the bottom of the device. And it ends up hitting right on the wood there. So if we move that, is it going to fall further? Let's move it to the next one. So we got it on the second one. Same thing. We're going to move it over about 4 inches from the piece. Hit it the same spot. We'll move it up to the very last spot. So if it made a difference, we would for sure see it by now. Or we'll see it on this one. There's a little twisted up. It's all the way up on the last one. That one about smashed my finger. Now that point there is more at a balance point, so it kind of even sits a little weirder. But when you straighten it out, it's again about 4 inches, and we've moved the rope from there to there to there, and all the way up to there. It's made no difference. That piece still fell the distance that it would fall, no matter where you had it tied off. So, does where the half hitch is at matter? Not really. So is it smarter to put it a little further up the piece? That way you for sure get connection? I would say yeah. So, Jiffy Pop's right. It's facts. I don't know how else to explain it. It doesn't matter. The only thing you're doing when you change where this is at is you are trading this length of rope with this. length of rope. That's all you're doing. So this one's long, this one's short. Then when we switch this and bring it all the way down here, we just used up more rope there. And now, when we're on the last setting, this one's long, this one's short. So it doesn't matter where the half hitch goes, all the way up to at least, I wouldn't measure past the halfway point, because then it starts doing flips and doesn't orientate the same way. So I would say, yeah, I could change it down here, because it's going to go over and then it's going to flip and then it's going to have extra, but ignore all that. On your piece, you usually have a connection point and then you run a half hitch. This rule here would be the same as if it was just this tied in piece. So if you just hooked up right here on a piece that's up here, ignore the half hitch, and you just hooked up here, it's still going to fall the same distance to this. You hooked it up here, it's still going to fall the same distance as here. It's just, where is it going to hold it from? Is it going to hold it here or there? Here, when it goes over, it could potentially slip off if it's real close to the butt end. So that's all I really have for this one. Let me look and see if we have any questions, and then we go, let me see, like 2 or 3. Like, read my comments, adjust them. Oh, sorry, so what did you say it again, Tim? Actually, I'm gonna shut this light off and then I'll read them as I go in. Let's go. Oh man, you know what? No. My bad. I gotta go all the way back out here. That gives me time to answer your question. Tim, your comments mean nothing if your rope, man, is good. What the? Why? How come every time I read a comment, Brandon's being moody? Every time I read his comment, he's being moody. Why are you so moody? Alright, now I will read any comments from here on, I promise. My bad. No matter where the piece is tied, if your rope man can accommodate for it, it won't. Yeah. I just hear. I wish there was like a meow button you could push. No, I'm not scrolling up. That's not how things work. I walk up and say, "Give me your ID." You say, "Give me yours." No. What are you doing? Okay. Does it? Okay. Does it matter with that? No. No, it doesn't matter. Because that piece is going to fall that distance all the way up to the halfway point. As you go above the halfway point, the rules start to change. So all the way up to the balance point. After the balance point, then you're doing like tip tying and everything changes, but you're only going to use so much rope up, and you're either going to transfer that rope from being real close and falling, or it's going to change where it's connected on the piece. So it's simple to figure out. If you hang up down here and you connect instantly and it goes over, it's dropped that far because it's still holding it by the tail. So when you move that rope up, the piece is just being suspended at a different point. So the butt ends up a little higher. Like, in association to the rope. Like you may use more rope, but that's to make up for where it's holding from, and I showed it. What I showed with the rope wasn't fully. What do you mean? What do you mean? It showed everything. What was confusing about that? I showed it being connected in 3 or 4 different points, and it dropping into the system, and every one of them hung at the same height, but were connected at different points 4 different ways. So it changed nothing in where the impact was happening at, where it was held from, when it impacted the system. It impacted the system at the same height on the stem every single time. Brandon's about to get. You're about to get a timeout. All right. Who do we get first? Let's do. All right. Well, it's kind of a while into the episode to be starting here. Let's start with. I don't even know if I should start with him. We can start with somebody else. There's so many this week. This is crazy. Let's do guilty of treason first. Because Tim was on this one anyway, so BRB. Right on, person. You streaming for life? No, absolutely. Three strand never. Reducing the distance from the half hitch to pulley or device. What? I didn't read what you said first. Scroll up, you'll see. And reducing the distance from the half hitch to pulley or device. It didn't. I had that rope locked off. If you go back and watch that rope is locked off. That's the reason it's on that device. That's actually an anchor system. That rope is locked off. I held it just to show it can't slide out. It is locked off. And we changed the distance and connected it multiple different points on that piece, and it didn't change even anything in the system. Not how the pulley, if you was to say the anchor was a pulley, it was set up to look like a safe block. And I didn't lift it and put it into the system because it was easier to show. People would say, well, you're lifting this was a stationary system that was just locked into place, that wasn't able to move. And I dropped it into it every time, and it didn't change the impact point by any. So, oh shoot. Oh no. What is that? Whoa, I don't even know what that just was. My bad. Yeah, nothing changed there. You're not even, to see the reason that there's no difference in force or nothing like that is because you're using the same amount of rope. Things could change if you was to have to introduce more rope into the system to change the height on the half hitch. Then you're going to get more stretch and stuff like that. But I showed you don't have that's why I made the point of this one's short, this one's long. You're trading distance of the rope. The half hitch moving, you're just trading that rope length from the straight connection point there or the point where it connects the two hitches. You're just trading it from them two. So, like, I would have to go back to it to explain it, but yeah, you're trading it from there. So if you moved the connection point from where it's connected here down to the half hitch, if it was up here and you moved it down here, you moved it, let's say 4 or 5 inches. All you did was take 4 or 5 inches away from the distance in the rope, and now the point from here to the pulley is less in rope length, but you're still using the same amount of rope. So you could lessen the stretch from the half hitch down by bringing that connection point lower, but it doesn't actually change the distance of the fall. How? That doesn't make any sense. It doesn't change where it hits, man. Like, I get why people think that it does. It doesn't. That's facts. Like, I could have sat here and told you I don't think it does, but instead of being like I don't think, I said here, watch. And I took a lot of the variables out, like extra slack into the pulley system and stuff. Everything was stationary, so. But you could change maybe the force on the rope by bringing that down, because it's using a shorter span from the piece to the block, maybe. I didn't believe this either. If I'm being totally honest, I thought it changed it. I purposely went and did all this earlier today because I kind of thought that it changed where it just, in my head, I thought it would change where it hit. You're changing how much rope, like, it has to, and it didn't. And then I'm like, well, definitely should show that, because I've never seen anybody really explain it and show it like that. I've seen like drawings and stuff, but yeah. What up, Super Shay? Alright, so guilty of treason this week. No one else wanted this job. Triple Tree Trouble. Part 1. Okay, like, I'm gonna give him a pass since he's like almost an officer for the double title. I don't like that. Don't do that. But so Jacob got pulled over at the beginning of the video. First thing, I got pulled over, and I was contacted when he got pulled over. They said, I was like, what's up? And I'm like, you know what? Give him a warning. And so he got let go. But something about his breakaway, I think, is what they told me. But yeah, Tim was actually in this video. He helped them do this tree. It turns out Tim gets a ticket for being a puss. You get a ticket for being a puss because he turned the job down. He was scared of it. But then Jacob came, and then he's like, if I got help, if like someone will hold my hand, I can do it. And so they're like, okay, Tim, there you come. Actually, I think he was there. This is my understanding, is he was there to basically take notes from Randy. So I just hope he took very specific notes. Yeah, you shouldn't. He's just basically, the title says no one else wanted this job. Tim, he's talking about Tim. He's like, Tim was basically, he said Tim's a sissy, and that's why he got the job. You just gotta watch it. This is all, everything's in the video, but it's basically take your kid to work day. Randy is basically like brought, and it's like Tim is gonna learn today, and he's gonna watch. I'm hoping Like you should grow a handlebar mustache too. I just feel like it would suit you. Um, the beginning of the video, Guilty didn't sell me anything, and I was like, I don't even know where I'm at right now. He didn't try to sell me a rope or a carabiner or a saddle or a scrinch, a ratchet scrinch. I was like, this is awesome. Let me shut up. So yeah, it was crazy. And then they said, well, I was stoked on he didn't try to, but then all of a sudden he did, like, there's this rope from Sappy Supply. I was like, damn, we almost got away with it, but he did throw one little one in there. I'm okay with that. They said at one point, whoever edits the video says that Randy is using 200T. And it was nice to see someone use a real saw in a video now. Either it's some battery-powered foo-foo thing that I believe is for women, but they're used bad, or it's a damn Echo. And, like, I just wouldn't go into war with an inferior tool, like, or weapon. And I feel like that you guys, that's what's happening. That's just what's going on, BR. That's just what's happening. But they said Randy was using a 200T and he wasn't. Whoever's editing the videos, I'm telling you, you're wrong. That's false information. That's not good. You shouldn't do that. It was a 201. I'm pretty sure. The air covers and everything. I didn't even look close enough to try to figure. I'm telling you, it's a 201. It's not a 200T. And Tim was climbing at the same time as Randy because remember he's supposed to learn and stuff. This is bring your kid to work day. So, Dad with the handlebar mustache has got his boy with him, and they're climbing, and like he's gonna learn. You can learn better when you can see it. So that's what they're doing. Tim's using a toy. He's using the Echo from maybe Ripsaw or something. I think I'm not sure, but everyone that uses that saw, it's from there apparently. It's just what people do on when you're a YouTuber. So basically, Randy dominates history, and Tim's like all slow and ties in like a douche at times, and that's just facts. Randy has to help him. He's like, you want me to rig those branches so you can hurry up? This is all in the video. You gotta go watch the video. But he's like, you want me to rig those since you're being slow? And Tim's like, yeah, would you please? I think he may have said Dad or something like that. I don't know. But Randy did it and helped him. Basically, I mean, he helped him. He helped him. So my favorite character is Tim's parents because his mom knows that he's out of control. And she was like thanking Jacob for keeping him out of trouble. So I think Mom is the star. So his parents stopped in because they're from a good state. And they went up to where Tim lives just to see him. So that was cool. They made it in multiple videos. That's awesome. I've had to call and interview, and so I've talked to Tim's parents. They also think you're a douche for tying in like that. This is just facts. They think you shouldn't rainbow anchor anymore. We've discussed it. It should stop. Dude, it's in the video. Like, he did say that. He's like, I seen the full video before it got edited. He was asking for tips on how to grow a handlebar mustache. Like, how far down should I let it go? Is there stuff that I should put? All kinds of stuff. I personally think that the 69 earmuffs should be sold on Sappy supplies that Randy's rocking. I think that's good stuff. Mainly don't tie in like a douche no more. We're not rainbow anchoring. It's over. We're done. You got a rainbow chainsaw, that should be enough to suffice you and keep you from tying in like a complete douche. Okay? So no one, it's not cool anymore. It's not cool. Even if it was cool, it's like a TikTok dance. That's not cool no more. All right, stop doing it. Sell the 69 earmuffs, Sappy supplies. Cleaning off heavy ivy is the worst. I don't know. Does he? I've never seen him climb a tree, Terry. I don't know if he does. I mean, he could, man. Hell, I don't even know. I don't even know. How is he running the chainsaw? That would be what I would have to ask first, Terry. Is he good at running the chainsaw? What kind of saddles he got? What kind of ropes does he use? For God's sake, he better not be climbing on an akimbo, because all these things would dictate what my answer, you know? So, let's see. Where were we at? Yeah, cleaning off ivy sucks. It's no good. I put a touch of gray in it, so I look like DB. Yeah. Yeah, that would be sick. I back that. I back that. Let's see. Yeah, I don't like that Tim skipped past the ivy. He was supposed to take this ivy off. He didn't take the ivy off, which that's lazy. And he's basically slow. So everyone's like waiting around for hours. I'm disappointed. Isaac's my guy. Okay, I like Isaac, but facts are facts. In this video, for some reason, I seen him. He's wearing them kitten mittens. Okay, boys don't wear gloves. Okay, I'm just trying to let you know. I seen him wearing kitten mittens. Don't do that. Don't do that. If it's cold outside, you gotta keep your hands warm so that you can use them and do your job. You can wear the kitten mittens. But if it's warm, you can't. You're not supposed to wear those. He gave me the look. Dude, I'm telling you, this is absolutely ridiculous. Randy called me about all this. He's absolutely upset. He wrote a statement on you. That's the reason it's being brought up right now. So at one point in the video, Tim gives false information and absolutely lies. I checked all this, okay? This is all facts. But he's up in the tree. He's trying to pretend like he's been climbing all day, yada, yada, yada. He's like, I did this, look, I did this. And he says at one point that he's been in the tree for over 6 hours. Okay, that's a lie. I timed it. It was 47 minutes. This is facts. I recorded myself timing so that you could see. It was 47 minutes. So he lied about 6 hours, and that was his excuse for not taking the ivy off. And everything I say can be checked. So yeah, that's an absolute violation. You're just being lazy. You should have went over there and got that ivy. Oh yeah, and the Spitfire sticker on the 201, you get bonus points for that. If that's Isaac's, that's sick. I like that. At the end of this video, and I said this last week when Tim put his video out of this, Tim lied again in this video. It's almost like it was the same time in history being recorded, watched from two, but he lied in this one too. And he bought that Buckingham rope grab to be like me. This is all facts. Before he called Randy Daddy, he was saying it to me. So, don't feel weird, Randy. You did that shit to me for a long time too. So, he also said that he had a t-ball game. I didn't even know grown-ups could play t-ball. Um, after he finished climbing for the whole 47 minutes, um, he you can check all that. You can time it yourself too. Um, he said he had to go play t-ball. I'm dead serious. I didn't know that they let. I didn't know nothing about it, dude. Yeah, I don't understand, Tim. It's not helping you, and it's not helping me. So you just shouldn't do it. Okay. Okay, I got a new one here. Next channel. Rooted arborists. All week, my damn YouTube has been suggesting these guys to me. They must be paying to have their videos pushed. Stop. Stop. I don't want to see it. They're TikToking I can't. This is what I can't do. I don't like this. I don't like this at all. There's this like false, crazy bravado that like of an arrogance almost that I don't know where it comes from. I've never seen them, but like I dig that you're confident, but like you shouldn't if you're doing videos like this, you shouldn't like it shouldn't make you feel weird to be around. Is there any real men where you're at? That's just I mean, I don't know. But I don't like the TikToky stuff. They're obsessed with those Milwaukee things. Milwaukee isn't sending me nothing, so I think it's dumb. Okay? I've said this. I can be bought, so my opinion may change. At one time in one of their videos, they like walked. It was like they were being brought out, like they were the big surprise at a huge Milwaukee I don't know. Everything's stupid in AI now, and I don't believe anything. And it's just not. I don't like watching it. I don't like it. Yeah. So we have Tim. Do we do Tim's? Yeah, I guess we could do Tim's. Alright, Veterans Tree Service says you say too risky. I say max productivity. I'm gonna let that slide. That was a full sentence. Like, it works. It works. He's okay. Back cut first is for femboys. Like, it's unnecessary. I've never had to use it. I've never. I've cut many trees. So many. All the trees. I've cut them all. I have never. Let me repeat. Ever had to cut back cut first. The problem with that, and the reason that probably is because lawn guys would be cutting down these little trees that everyone keeps using the back cut first on, that are little. Like, lawn guys in my area would cut that, because there's still men in America. Like, there's still some around. So, like, they'll just go outside. They're like, I'm not going to go call a tree guy to go cut this tree down in the middle of nowhere. I like running chainsaws too, so they go out there, they cut their own tree. So maybe I don't cut a lot of little bitty trees, but maybe if I was cutting little trees, back cut first, maybe, but I'm still saying absolutely not. I think if I was ranking cuts, I would say shark gill is above back cut, and shark gill may be the most useless in my opinion. Maybe very useful to somebody else, but I don't know. Yeah, I don't like, yeah, he likes it. Tim, back cut first. Um, he keeps putting these little blurps in there where it's like some text, and he'll say something little smart assy, where he's like, uh, some people will use a rope, but I wouldn't. Oh, okay, okay. There's a reason. I feel like there's a reason that he's hiding, and so I've put private investigators on him to figure this out. And like, why does this guy not want to set ropes? And it took me a while before I got any of the PIs got back with me. But it turns out that I mean, not every man can throw. Have you ever seen some dudes that are like, when they throw, instead of just, huh? I mean, I'm telling you, I think there's a reason he's playing t-ball, because you don't got to throw it. It's on the stick, and then he doesn't know how to throw, so he doesn't. Setting ropes is super hard, super hard, and he just can't do it. So he's like, he just wants to just hammer some wood. That's his style. But he's a guy that likes the wedges. I don't much understand it, but hey, to each of their own. I just think, and we're gonna absolutely kind of break it down. Having a rope is better. That's just my opinion. Tim's opinion is, I'm just going off what he said. Ropes are pointless, and they take time, too much time. You can be faster. So I have a little bit of an opinion on when a channel gets so big. When a channel gets to where it's actually influencing people, you feel like it's not just entertaining, it's probably influencing people. I feel like at that point you have an obligation to not steer people in a dangerous way. Maybe make it obvious, like, you're not, maybe you, I feel like a lot of people look at Tim like he is a absolute rookie, when in actuality he's not. And he's the type that he's not going to take the time to defend it or say something because the channel popped up. I think people think that's everything. That's all he ever, like, he just, but that's not the case. You have somebody who's experienced, and okay, when it comes to certain, whether it's a job, whether it's a hobby, there are people who want to learn something new, okay? Then there are people that they like what they're learning, so they want to master it, and they just obsess over it. They can get very good very quick. They almost come off like a natural at whatever it is they're doing. So maybe that's the case. But going and saying it's not safer to not use a rope. It's more dangerous. When you're rigging and you're up in the tree and you're throwing branches, it's also more dangerous to cut and chuck. But I mean, rigging limbs and using ropes to pull trees over, it's more of a long-term reward. You're going to give yourself a longer career if you're not blowing out a disc in your back because you're banging wedges over every time to pull a tree over. Or you're not, getting hemorrhoids or hernia because you're trying to hold a limb up that turned out to be a little heavier than you thought it was going to be, so now you're forced to hold it or smash this person's property. Or you twist your back, like you pull a rotator cuff. Over time, you start to get spurs and stuff in your arms where you can barely move your shoulders because you spent so long cutting and grabbing and chucking limbs because it maybe was faster. But this is what every guy that I've ran into, and I will second this, who's done it long enough, you're definitely towards the end. They say the same thing. It wish I didn't approach it always like it was a race. Well, I mean, you may be there to entertain, but it influences. It does. That's the facts. I mean, look how many guilty of treason stands there are out there. It's just how many bucking wannabes are out there. That's just the reality. And so I feel like some people maybe ain't going to get the humor where we're bantering back and forth and are going to take it. People are dumb. That's what I'm saying. This ticket doesn't even go so much towards Tim. It goes to just the modern day viewer. They're not going to understand the humor a lot of times in it. And I'm just saying to any of those guys that are maybe questioning, like, take care of your body so that you can, if it's something you love, you need your body to be able to continue to do it. So just FYI, this is just my opinion on that part. Take care of yourself. Don't throw your back out. Don't mess your shoulders up. It's not worth it. For the viewer, I'm telling you, it is more entertaining for me to watch you rig something out than it is for me to watch you cut it, chuck it, and spin and throw it every time, especially when it's like a helmet cam. Maybe if I was just watching from at a distance, you can see the guy, how quick he is. This is just my opinion on the whole thing. But also, he's sitting there kind of poking and trying to be funny, and depending on that homeowner, you may not get away with bouncing limbs off the fence. Some people will straight up lie and say you ruin their whole fence if you bump it or if you put scratches on it. Like, some cases, it just, I try to avoid playing that game because I can never tell with the person whose property it is. You don't know if they're crazy till they get crazy. So it's like, maybe I wouldn't, but I don't doubt that you probably got done quicker. Like, as the climber, you're the decision maker on how that tree comes down. You're always going to be, even if there's like a big boss on site, and whatever it may be. You dictate how that tree comes down. So he spends his time saying ropes are pointless, this, that, trying to pretend like it's so much faster. And then this dork asks for a rope and wants to rig. And you can't say and tease people about needing ropes and then turn around and need rope. You're a hypocrite. You can't say ropes are pointless and then need a rope. I think you should have climbed out there and thrown your back out, twisting, trying to get out on that little stick, and had to climb up higher and use more body strength and get more tired. But you said rigging takes too much time. Roping limbs, it's faster to cut them and chuck them and throw them. Then you got to the top. This is like, I'm telling you, this is Buck and Billy Ray levels of, it was in almost within minutes. You said they're pointless, it's slow, You got to the top and said, I don't want to climb higher. I could get out there and get those. I don't want to climb higher. So send me a rope, it'll be faster. You, like, really? I think you confused me in this one. You just confused me. You said one thing, you got to the top, you did a complete another. What's faster? Ropes, cut and chuck. Who knows? The first tricky limb he gets to, he's like, "Give me a rope. Um, it'll be faster." You just said that ropes take up too much time, and then you got to the top of the tree, and it maybe the only thing it could have changed, like the altitude. Maybe it's harder to breathe. Maybe the blood flow. And then he changed his opinion when he got to the top, and then all of a sudden the rope would be faster. So give me the rope because I don't want to climb higher. You just have to watch the video. I got confused. Was he scared to climb higher? I don't know. I think I've seen him climb some tall trees, like 70-footers, 60-footers. I don't know. Like, I just wonder why he rigged, because he said he wasn't going to rig, and rigging takes him time. Then he's rigging. What changed? Is he scared? Maybe. Did it change because the homeowner just showed up and now they're home? So you don't want to bounce limbs off of the fence. Hey, I'm just being devil's avocado here and trying to look at it both ways. Is he scared, or is he... We've all been there where you're like, I'm glad they're not home because I'm about to do this and it may look gnarly, but it's not going to do anything, right? This was at the very beginning for me, so long ago, I don't even remember it. It was decades ago. I've never done that since. But we've all been there where you're like, I'm going to do this thing, and it's not going to do nothing. And I'm glad they're not here, because if they seen it, they would think it did more than what it actually... You know what I mean? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I think he was scared. I think he was scared. There's nothing wrong with cut, chuck, and throw. Like, I get it. I did it for too long. Can it be faster? Yeah. Are you more likely to get injured doing that kind of work than you would rigging? Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I feel like a lot of times when the guys cut their arms, it's the cut and chuck. You know, you're cutting next to your hand, the piece you're holding a lot of times. And even long term, if you're doing that, you know, your body's going to get tore up. It's what happens. Is it more risky? In my opinion, yeah. Yeah, but you're just going to have to always, you just have to ask yourself, is being faster worth the risk? It's up to you, you know, no matter what. I know the ground guys want to get home faster, and I know the owner is always going to want you to do as much as possible to make the most profit every day. But remember, it's your choice there. Like, I don't know. I'd say rig if you can. Do whatever's faster. I get that. Whatever's easier. But I don't think you can say one's better than the other. I feel the exact same way when it comes to wedging trees over. I personally don't wedge a single tree over. I just put out a video where I'm beating in wedges into the back of it, but I just don't wedge trees over. I put ropes in. But that doesn't mean that it's not an effective way. I just feel like it's way more physical. It's just unnecessary, in my opinion. So, I don't think so. Rigging is way cooler. As a viewer, that's what I'm saying. I would much rather watch you rig pieces than I would watch you, you know, like helmet cam, cut and chuck. So, I don't know. Yeah, it is what it is. It is what it is. I'm not even gonna ticket him. He's got an opinion and it's wrong. So you can't blame the guy for that. He's still learning. Buck and Billy Ray Smith put out a video called "Someone is Very Angry with Me," and they have friends. Did I see Isaac in here? Isn't he the one that said, was it him? Yeah, I agree, Isaac. I agree. Oh. Let's see. So, the thumbnail for this video Buckin put out has huge hornet's nest. No way out. So what happened in the video? He ends up climbing up a tree. And when he gets up it... Damn it. Wow, it will not let me hit that. It's so ridiculous. Okay, there it is. Sorry, guys. Yeah, I think Tim's way better than your average people are ever going to give him his credit. And I feel like a lot of times people are drawn their opinion of Tim, and because he won't spend the time to argue back, they actually start to think they're right. So what did Buckin do? He does suck, though. He absolutely does suck. He's got a rainbow chainsaw. Come on, man. No. Maybe. Yeah, maybe. So, the video, someone is very angry. He's got that hornet's nest. So he ends up climbing up this tree. He gets part way up it, I'd say maybe 15 to 20 feet. He looks over and there's a huge hornet's nest. And he goes, oh my gosh, oh my god, oh my god. I gotta get away from that, oh my god, oh my god. And so he like scurries up the tree. Instead of getting down, he goes up above him. You have two options. You can go back down, or you can go above them. He chose to go above. Shout out to him. That's pretty crazy. But if you've never dealt with hornets, you don't want to. You don't want to. Let's just say that. So he comes to realization that, he's going to have to go back down. But before he starts to climb, he's on the ground and he's explaining what he's about to do. He says, I'm going to go up into this tree, I'm going to blow a top out, and we're going to pull this super big log over. He says, I'm taking up not my normal climb line, I'm going to take up this rigging line, and then I'm going to rappel down on this rigging line. He says this before he goes up. He's getting his gear on and everything. He says, I'm going to rappel down on this rigging line. I'm also going to bring my climbing system that Hogan got together for me. You know, I think he wanted to shout me out and be like, you know, for getting him to tie in twice, but he maybe he's embarrassed to admit it or something. But he's got this little climbing system that he said his sons talked him into using, and it's about 20 foot long. And tell me how in the hell this makes any sense. What good for work positioning? It's going to do you great. What good is a 20-foot long rappel when you're doing 150-foot trees, 120-foot tree, 130-foot tree? What good is 20 foot going to do you? So, I may say it in a very, you can call me rude. I don't care. I don't really care. But the truth is, he's getting to an age that it would be much safer to always have a system to get down quickly. Like I think he's got this impression that people are trying to change him. I don't care who he is. I don't want to see him become a statistic in the tree world because he's the old guy that got all the way up in the tree and had a medical problem and couldn't get down. Or the old guy that got up into the tree, or young guy. Young guys have heart attacks too. Gets up in the tree, has a heart attack, can't get down because he's buckstrap Billy and doesn't want to have a tie-in. So, but this one, I think, like, I'm not going to say anything because he said he's bringing up his rigging system. Over here when it comes, Long's Quest, what's up? What in the world was I just talking about? So, yeah, I don't, for God's sake, I wish Bucking would do whatever's safer. Okay, maybe my opinion and my suggestion isn't the right answer, but do whatever is safer that will keep you around. You apparently make a lot of people happy. Your following's enormous. You got a family. I know you think it's some other dude trying to be opinionated and like I use it as an opportunity to try to get something positive across. I may say it in a very negative way, but even in this one, what if you got up there and started getting stung by hornets and had an allergic reaction? You need to be able to get down. And if you can't quickly, it could be, the difference between life and death. I don't understand why that's so hard to comprehend. But whatever. Yeah, you just, I kind of noticed with Bucking, like, even with, he's got his son-in-law who does axes, Lucky Axe brand, what do they call him, Luke? Captain Gimbal. I think he'll end up eventually doing fancier things and more advanced things than Bucking when it comes to even axe work. Bucking's stubbornness doesn't allow him to grow more knowledge. He's got what he gets, and then like he's like, that's the gospel, that's the right way to do this. And it happens with tree work. He's taught guys to do tree work. They've surpassed him, not in experience, but in knowledge. Same thing, like, if you approach everything in life, that'll probably happen all the time. You can't be so close-minded to everything and, like, think you know everything. So, I'm curious to see where the journey ends up. But, Rion put out another video, Grove Crane versus Hillside Trailer Park Trees, no contest. It's your typical crane job. How many picks do you think it's going to take? What's the weight? That Spencer dude is a badass climber. And Felipe is a badass on the ground. So, yeah, that's that. Rion is turning into your poster boy YouTuber. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. I hate when people ask me to like, comment, and subscribe. I feel like they're calling me stupid. They're like, you think I didn't know that there's a... Yeah, I don't know. Alright, let's do... Shoot. Do we do Daniel Murphy? Because Daniel's been putting out videos this week. And I've been watching. And I don't know if he meant for some of them to be funny, but they were. Yeah. So let's do Daniel's. I don't usually go. I leave Daniel alone. But you don't always get a pass. As an OG, you get some passes. You know. But he put out a video. It was a short, I think. Maybe it was a longer, but whatever. It's called Recognizing the Tree's Intelligence. I don't know. He's got his own opinions on things. He's a very opinionated guy. He's got a lot of experience. But I feel like he's just always trying to change the rules and regulations to stuff. And I don't know why that is. Like, if, like, the physical aspect of tree climbing maybe has passed him up. So now he just puts all of his energy into, like, the knowledge part of it. And I don't know, the literature in it, like, trying to explain things, but he is so focused on trying to, like, change the standards and practices. He's obsessed with suckers. He's just a sucker lover. He's a sucker lover. He loves talking about suckers. He loves to leave suckers. Sucker lover. I mean, that's facts. What else did he do? So then he put out another video. It's called How to Jump a Monster Tree. So I can't. In the video, he cuts the tree, and then you ever seen the movie Leprechaun in the Hood? Like, when they catch, like, he'll scurry away. I'm sorry. No. It's just the climber dude must be really tall, so he makes him look even short. But, like, he cut, and he's like, he got out of the way, and he's just, like, sitting over there. But the video, I'm thinking he's going to start explaining some stuff, because it says how to jump a monster tree. And he doesn't say anything, and the tree falls. And I'm like, alright, this video is about to get real good, because even though he's short, he's about to literally jump over this tree. And I'm like, maybe I misunderstood the... Oh my god, my phone is going dead. I forgot to plug it back up. It may actually die before I get it hooked up to you guys. That sucks. Oh no. Holy cow, I think it's like at 2% right now. It's about to die. My bad. I screwed this one up. But I forgot what I was. Yeah, he's gonna jump the tree. And I'm like, this is gonna be awesome. He's gonna. Yeah, it's about to shut off. We're gonna see. But I thought he was gonna jump the tree, and he's kind of short, and like his legs ain't that long. But he didn't tell me how to make the tree jump, and the video says how to jump a monster tree. So there's only one thing. He's about to jump over this tree, and so then I'm stoked. I'm like, I'm locked in. I'm like, this is gonna be good. He didn't jump over the tree. He didn't explain anything. He just was like, that tree went a long ways, and that was it. So I feel like that's misinformation. You said you was going to teach me how to. I want to either know how to physically jump over a tree, or teach me how to make the tree jump a long ways. You didn't teach me nothing. You told me you was going to show me how to. So I don't like that. Then he puts out a video, and he's got a question for Buckin' Billy Ray Smith. And Daniel calls himself Daddy. Okay? I talked about this earlier. We're discussed the Tim thing, where it's like Daddy Randy, and then before it's Daddy Me. But that's someone else calling you Daddy. You don't call yourself Daddy. He says Buckin' Billy Ray likes to use wedges, and then he says, but Daddy, and it's disgusting. Daddy don't do wedges. He calls himself Daddy, and I don't like that. So don't call yourself Daddy no more. I don't want you to do that anymore. And then he puts in the description that he's doing this tree for $300, and that blows my mind because it looks like it's worth like 2 to 3 times that. And at the end of the video, he says, "I'll discuss this with Buckin' Billy Ray soon." They really started a dinosaur game. I was kidding originally about this, but now I'm hearing on the streets and stuff from people, CIs, that the dinosaur gang is a real thing, and that it's growing very quickly. I don't like this. I want it to stop, but watch out in your area. If the dinosaur gang was to show up, there's few things you'll smell Bengay, or like icy hot, prunes. There won't be prunes in your town. Stuff gets crazy. Just watch out. Just a heads up. I think Daniel did something else. I had him down here. Okay, yeah, he's taking a locust tree off of a house. And okay, Daniel put out this video. It was called "Taking a Locust Tree Off a House Egyptian Style." Again, he lied to me about jumping a tree earlier. So in this one, I think he's going to show me how the Egyptians did something. Okay? I'm like, this is going to be cool. But then I was like, dude, you were wrong last time. So think a little different. And I'm like, maybe he'll do the Egyptian dance, the Pharaoh dance or something like that, while it's falling. Because I'm sure he's not going to lie 2 times. There's no way. So, taking the tree off a house, Egyptian style. So the video starts, and he shows a face cut. It's a notch. And he doesn't do the dance, and he doesn't show me anything that an Egyptian did. So I don't like this either. That's misinformation once again. This is getting ridiculous. You can't just title your stuff whatever you want. You said I was going to see something that's Egyptian style. You didn't do that pharaoh dance. Do the dance, or show me a bunch of block and tackles with a bunch of guys with skirts on pushing stuff on sleds. I seen nothing Egyptian out of this. I seen an open face notch with a wide back strap that was pulled by a truck. This is a lie again. This is what I'm trying to change. This kind of stuff, it's got no place on YouTube. You can't be lying like this. You didn't jump a tree. Now there was no Egyptian style nothing. I don't know what this was. But yeah, I'm done with Daniel now. That was it for Daniel. Daniel, he's got to stop. You can love the suckers. I'm good with that, but you can't lie no more. Next channel, Ground Pounder 24-3-65 put out a video called Oh Snap. He's rigging out some limbs with a CMI block, and he was in what I like to call an estrogen elevator. To some, they would call it a bucket, but yeah, he's in his. I'll try to call it what you guys call it, not the bucket truck, and he's rigging some limbs, and he's getting her done. You know, that's nothing illegal with that. It's just he's getting her done using CMI block. I got that same block. That block's sick. What else? Popular Mechanic. Or Poplar Mechanic. Is he popular, or is it pop? He ain't been putting out a lot of content, but he put out a short. It was Dead Ash Flop, and he absolutely misses the block that he's supposed to impact. Yeah, it was a short. Yeah, it was a short. You're right. Yeah, it was a short. It was good. It was good, though. Put out a few of them this week. Dead Ash Flop. Yeah, he's falling a stick and puts a chunk of wood out in the road, absolutely misses the chunk and smashes or hits the road instead. I think it's good practice to put your notch into the tree if you have an impact spot. I always will put my face cut notch, and as they're starting to pre-tension, I will walk out in front of my cut, as I want to see the lay from the impact point at the end. And I want to look down it and make sure that my impact pad is in line with that notch. I think it would have been just as simple as if someone would have walked out in front of that cut and looked, the log was over here and the tree was faced right. It went exactly where it was faced. That's just good practice maybe to get into for some guys. Maybe walk out there, look at it from the front. I know some of y'all probably prefer the view from the back. That's not surprising to me with some of you guys. But look, it doesn't hurt to check it from the front. Okay? Just check it, you know? Who's next? Sizemore Tree Works. Oh no. Sizemore. Huh. He put out a video called 10 Man Traded Me a Dangerous Chainsaw. Or maybe it was the most dangerous chainsaw on YouTube. Your typical clickbaity title, right on. But that's facts though. 10 Man traded him this chainsaw. But you got to put the action words like dangerous and most things. But he traded a production chainsaw, which I'm taking for granted was probably either a 460 or 500i. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think maybe he traded a very expensive chainsaw for this old beat up 1989 2100 with no chain brake that's piped. He has some trouble starting it. Let's just say that. He tends to flood it. He just, I don't, I think I like Justin. I think he's a good dude. I think he just gets confused on what he wants to be at times. 1 second, he wants to be an arborist. Then he wants to be a modern tree climber with all the gadgets and tools and this. Then he wants to be an old school Buck and Billy Ray clone that he said, I'm going to dumb down my climbing setup and I'm going to get away with using all these fancy gadgets. He just said this in a video. And then turns around and starts putting out shorts of this new gear and new gadgets he's got. I just don't think he really knows what he wants to do. I think he should just stop putting himself into a box and just do whatever he wants to do. Like, if you like the logging stuff and being like Bucking, cool. If you like the modern climbing stuff that's got all the gadgets, it's okay. This weird thing where they got to be separate, you got to be one or the other, that's just strange to me. I think you should do whatever the hell you want to do and enjoy doing it. If it involves logging, if you really like logging, cool. But yeah, it comes off confusing because I just listen to what he says. He said he wants to simplify his stuff. He's sick of overcomplicating things. He wants to dumb it all down, and then he's back to buying the new, most fancy gear that there is out there. And so I don't. It is what it is. Something I noticed, but he still hasn't discussed what his foot accident was. I would like to know. I know he hurt his foot. But yeah, I don't. Did he have gout? Has he been eating a lot of inners? Like, who knows? Nobody knows. He could have gout like Bobby Hill. But no one knows because he won't discuss it. But seems like he's maybe getting a little better. But for God's sake, I'm pretty for sure that he was wearing. I think he had fucking Crocs on. Dude, what are you doing wearing Crocs? So he doesn't. Okay, turns out he doesn't know if he wants to be a Buck and Billy Ray clone, a fancy new age arborist, or a couch potato. Like, what are you doing? You got a foot problem. You're out there wearing Crocs. You're gonna have another foot problem. But whatever. Do whatever you want. I don't think it's smart though. What do I got? Yeah, he put out that short of the climbing gadget. Yeah, he put out a short of this little climbing gadget. It was called the Rolling Anchor Pulley from CMI and 3-strand. And it's just an unnecessary little micro pulley gadget, but yeah, another expensive, stupid tool that they can take your money. Don't do tree work in Crocs. Crocs are for little kids and women. That's why they come with those little bedazzling jewel things that you can put on them. You guys gotta knock it off. You gotta knock it off. Lumber Joe put out a video, From Dangerous Trees to Firewood, Life of a Professional Arborist. Hashtag tree climbing, hashtag tree loving, hashtag tree sex. Like, a bunch of hashtags. I didn't write them down. What are you doing? You don't put hashtags in your damn title. What are you doing? Knock it off. I don't think. So, I finally learned the dorkier one, the nerdier one. I learned his name. I figured the other guy's name that I kind of like, his name's Joe. And he's got a sidekick. He's kind of a little nerdy, but his name is Lancer. And I'm like, okay, that makes sense why I couldn't remember his name, because it's not a real name. His name's Lancer? That's like, his name was Lance, and someone just put an R at the end of it. But hey, you can have whatever name you want. That's Lancer. Okay, his name's Lancer. So in the title it says professional arborist. My problem with that, calling yourself a professional arborist in the title of your video, and then you have so many videos where you don't wear a hard hat even, I just think that it doesn't line up sometimes, so you should just maybe, I think you should wear a hard hat maybe. This video was boring. It was kind of pointless. He just was like, hey, I cut the trees into firewood. It's firewood. Everyone's been, if you don't have something that's maybe entertaining, you don't have to post something always. You just don't have to. You do not have to post it. Like stump grinding. Like, it's just sometimes, maybe once in a while, I get it. But like, there are other channels that they record every single thing that they do. And there's some things that nobody wants to watch. And I think you shouldn't do those things so much. But, yeah, I don't want to see, like, unless your channel is, like, focused on that thing, I don't want to see it. Like, there's a reason I watch your channel. It's focused in a certain region. And then when you go off and do, I don't know. Maybe people are different. But, yeah. Lumber Joe. I like their channel. I want to see the channel grow. But I still feel like that's not a real name. And I think he should get a hard hat. Lancer is smart enough, he wears a hard hat, I think. But the guy who's the professional arborist, Lumber Joe, he even got, how do you get a name like Lumber Joe? That's a name you get over decades of working. You get a name like Lumber Joe. And then, unless you named yourself that. But yeah, get a hard hat. Game of Trees. Kevin Ham, Game of Trees. Kevin is on a little bit of a kick with steel versus synthetic. And he says that all you guys that use that Scorpion cabling, the synthetic stuff, you guys are lazy. And that you guys just aren't as smart as him. You're lazy, and you should be as smart as him, not be dumb. I think he may have called you guys. Did he call you guys dumb? I don't know. Everything I say is a legend. I think he called you guys dumb. Any of you guys that use the Scorpion synthetic cabling, I think he called you dumb. So you should definitely take it up with him and find out why he would say something like that. But don't tell him I told you. What do we got? Oh, yeah, okay. So one thing I was stoked on this week, I was flipping through the shorts, and Greg Brown, 9271, put out a short. Actually put out quite a few, and he's improving on the GB Bollard here. So he's improved on this, and he's now shortened and compacted this area, shortened this, so that another attachment like this attaches to the bottom and has a GRCS winch system on it. So you can turn that into a GRCS. It's positioned underneath the bollard, which, if you're rigging pieces, it kind of would protect the winch a little more than the GRCS is, and it can be removed and put on, taken off, and still be able to use just the bollard. So stoked to see what Greg ends up coming up with. He's amazed me with how far he's taken the bollard and what he's done. 2 new channels. Drew T. Apparently he's like trying to do giveaways of $100 gift card, and he's like maybe trying to buy follower. I don't even know. Drew he's doing tree work. I think he may be funny, but I don't know if I get it. But I'm trying. I'm really trying to get it. He's kind of corny, maybe a little weird, but like I'm corny. Well, I'm mainly cool, but I can be weird sometimes. Um, so I'm trying. But check out his channel. It's Drew T. Um, he's doing his thing, climbing trees. Industry standard. Monster tree removal. Okay. Here's my honest truth. There's few chainsaws that I absolutely dislike, and I just don't like them. But their Echo make this. I think it's like a, what is the numbers to it? It's like a 355T or something like that. It's my cousin's got one, and it is the most underpowered top handle saw I've ever seen, and it sounds so god awful when it gets ran, like it's being burnt up and it's not cutting, and it just is very. It's not. There's few things worse than when a man uses a woman's battery powered saw in the tree than this. But like, I am not a fan of the Echo 355. I think that's what it's called. It just sounds like it has no ass to it. It's got no power. It's not doing anything except for like making this weird moany noise. I don't even know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the size, but I think that's the size. I'm sure there's some Echo fans that hate me now, but I don't like that thing. So. Am I right? I thought I was right. Dude, I'm sorry to anybody that's got one, but like, it's true. What up, John? Oh, oh, Chris is here. Hey, did Veteran take off? Right on, Tim. 2511T then. Yeah, I think the 2511T's got a little bit of ass to it. Like, it's a little better, especially when they get them ported and stuff like that. But, yeah, it's, that 355 is just, I just do not like it. I just don't like it. I don't like it. It sounds really not good. It sounds like when you hear your neighbor start up his Coleman chainsaw, or it's like a Pouland, or maybe it's a, I don't even know. You think whatever one you want. What would be one? A Black & Decker, but you can just, you hear it when it's into the wood. It's like, so. My friend regrets buying one. Yeah, it just doesn't have anything to it. Yeah, so. Yeah, guys, I ramble for long enough. Again, shout out to all the members. I put out another new video this week. I have another one finished. What was the one? Oh yeah, it was a big. I put out a big maple tree. I spent over 8 hours in the saddle on that one. It was a rough one. Sorry for it being vertical footage. It's just the camera got turned on my helmet that day, and that's what we ended up with. So the entire video is vertical, but it should be full screen vertical. Yeah, and I have another new video to put up on memberships. All my edited content is on my members. I try to put out shorts for the rest of the channel and keep it growing. And I'll bring a video over every once in a while, but if you want to see the edited content, I still continue to put that up on my members. Thanks to all the members. Shout out to Jacob at Guilty of Treason. He actually blew my mind out. It was him. I thought I was being trolled. I just thought it was a scam. And he sent me an email or like a DM telling me that he tried to join by Bibbers, and I'm like, yeah, I bet you did. This guy's about to ask me, will you send me my money back or something like that? But yeah, it turned out to be him. So shout out to him. Appreciate the support. Thanks to Isaac, Ground Pounder, everybody, Jay, Super Shay, all you guys that help and support by joining members. I appreciate the hell out of that. Yeah, I'm sick of talking. This is over. This is done. I don't know why you would still be watching me. I said it's over. I don't want to talk no more. Thank you for hanging out. Can't believe my phone didn't die. Have a good week. Stay safe. And thanks for giving me your time and attention. I appreciate you.